Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to have a look at this set of Etchr paints, but first of all, before I do that, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, excuse me, I'm going to be probably choking throughout this video because I've got a bit of a cough. It's the colour gas heater that's done it. Anyway, I came across this, which I have in a little bookshelf just in front of me, and I wanted to say thank you to Carolyn for this. Carolyn Doughton, who is one of our earliest and most prolific commenters on here, and she's the kindest lady on earth, except for the rest of you. And she sent me this a while back, and I do look at it from time to time, and I want her to know that I really appreciate it, and the other things that she sent as well. So that is a precious treasure, a gift from the sea. Hasn't got anything to do with the video, nor does this. This is one of the beautiful pieces of journal art that Dawn sent, and I wanted to remind her how grateful I was for that, because she really set me off on the right track with making journals. I don't want to call them junk journals, you know, because they might be made from recycled things, but they're certainly not junk. Anyway, I was quite moved by that, what she sent me. It was beautiful, and there were lots of these pieces. Here's another one, which I've used to put on the front of this sketchbook. And it's not exactly a sketchbook because it's full of watercolour paper. And this is a painting that I did recently with the Myling paints, which I'm going to do as a video probably next week. It's done, it's just not been processed. So there's that. Sort of bit of housekeeping here, isn't it? Okay, so Etchr have sent me this, and earlier in the year they sent me a set of cards, which we've used once or twice to make greetings cards. These cards are, oops, not very big, that size, which is a nice size for a greetings card. And they come with envelopes, of course, which are the most substantial envelopes I've ever come across. They are, hang on a second, let me see if I can get one out to show you. They are so thick. I think this one must be, ooh, sorry. Yes, this one's open. What am I doing? This is an expensive set, so if you buy it, be aware that it's worth the money. This is like cardboard, this envelope. It's the kind of thing that you would happily use inside a junk journal, not a junk journal. Very heavy. In fact, the two of these together weigh more than the minimum postage rate here. So it's not something you're going to pop in the post cheaply, but beautiful paper. Unbelievable. Lovely. So I'm going to paint on one of those and ruin it today. So, yeah. Pearlescent colours. I know what's going to happen when I open this. They're all going to be wrapped up in, oh, it hasn't got those little indentations, so it's hard to open. The one thing about Etchr is their presentation is, their packaging is fantastic. Beyond belief. We believe art has the power to make this world a better place. I think that's true, and probably makes their bank balance a better place too. Wrapped up in a piece of the sort of fabric that you use to clean your glasses with. Not quite sure what that's for, but there we are, it's lovely. Nice box to put in a cupboard somewhere and fill up some more space. A turquoise tin. I don't know what happened to the idea of having paint boxes made out of black painted tin for grown-ups and colours for children, but that's what we have, turquoise. here's a little swatching card so you can try them all out. And yes, lo and behold, they're all in little packets. And I don't think they care about us old people who have to struggle with these things. So we have to take all of these off. And that one is Canary. That doesn't sound terribly appealing. Okay. We've got Canary, Royal Gold, Pure Gold, Sand, Deep Gold, White Gold, Steel Grey, Olive, Coffee, Sepia, Bronze, and Satin Bronze, all wrapped up tightly in their packaging. So I'm going to turn you off and just do this and come back in a second. Okay, that's that then, that's done. And so the first thing I'm going to have to do is to wet them. And I don't know how much water these are going to need. I do know that that's run out. Let's try it with this one. And we might have to give them a bit of a scrub. So I'll take one of my older brushes and just see what happens when I do that. Just kind of work it in a little bit. And what I thought I would do today, I'm going to do some super quick Christmas cards, last minute Christmas cards, or you could use as gift tags if you wanted. It's just going to be a very simple design just to try these paints out. And they all seem to be mostly active now. And what I'll do is I will just quickly paint them out on here just to see how well they come out. And I'm not going to be taking any particular care over this. I just literally want to get a feel for how they behave. For example, that one is kind of drier. It's sucked up a lot more water. A 100 different varieties of gold. What I thought I would do is I'm going to paint a dark background on these Christmas cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So is this one? Coffee. A dark background. And then I'm going to try and paint some berries or leaves onto that dark background. And for the dark background, I'm going to use the Kuretake paints because they give the most intense colour. There's another one that's a bit drier. There we are then. That didn't take too long, did it? And that's the variety of colours that you get with the Etchr. And that is definitely going to need to be kept wet. There we go. And you can sit over there and make yourself absent. Right, so need a bigger brush. Let's find a bigger brush. It's been so cold and horrible here, you wouldn't believe it. We've had horrible, horrible weather. I don't know, I feel like I've been towed a long way south. So this is my test swatch, and I think I've got here a dark green that was made from, it would be probably indigo or blue-grey deep. That would give me a very dark blue. So let's go with that and see. Do forgive my chest. Okay, so a freehand. I'm not trying to keep anything straight or... It just takes a little bit of concentration. And I want this really thick, this paint. And this is the beauty. You can't do this with... I don't think you can do this very easily with the traditional watercolours. Maybe, maybe some of the Daniel Smith ones work to give you a really dark background. But I don't think, just tidying up the edge a little bit, I should try not to smudge it, and we'll let it dry. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I'll put that over there and let that dry. And maybe I'll do a green one as well. So, darkest green on here is Sap Forest Gump, that one there. This one here, just give that a little bit of activation in case you can't see it. It's this one here. And I will take another one of my cards. Just test it first. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that's Forest Gump. So we'll just draw another background. It's probably best to do this with a reasonably big brush. This is a 14, I think, yeah. I love these beautiful, dark, rich colours. Something which, before I came across these Japanese colours, I had no idea you could get such rich colours with watercolour, and it's been really quite an eye-opener for me, because I always used to paint sort of diluted, a bit, you know, your David Bellamy and your Ron Ranson kind of washed out sort of paintings. But I remember once when I went on a course with Ron Ranson, when he was still alive, I remember he had just discovered, I think it was David, what was his name? David Cox, I think. Let's say it was David Cox anyway, he's an Australian artist. And he had suddenly discovered that you could paint watercolours in really strong shades of, you know, very deep tones. And he was quite, what's the word? Set back on his heels, I think, because he'd realised that if you live in a country other than England, you couldn't just paint. You can't just paint milky colours if you live in Australia or even most parts of America or Canada. You need more colour. So let's see if this blue one's dry yet. No, so it's time to get the hairdryer out. Or if you've got a heat gun, which I haven't, you could use that. So I'm going to do this. So it's up to you now what you are going to paint on here, isn't it? And yes, I'm still trying to make up my mind. Do I want to do something? I was practicing this morning. Here's some of these paints that I've used. says here, draw different phases of the moon. You may like to start with a black background or perhaps on black coloured paper. Well, I've painted it navy blue, and use white paint or white cut paper to create shapes. Well, I started off by doing moons, but then I thought, so we've got some shiny leaves and things like that here. So we could do that on this card, or we could, it sort of looks a bit like it's asking for a nativity scene, doesn't it? You know, with a manger and a star and everything. So we could do that. Maybe we'll do that. Perhaps I'll just do that to start with. So what colour shall we use on this dark blue? Oh, it's hard to say, isn't it, really? I have no idea. Another thing you could do too, if you don't feel very confident about going straight in, you could put your drawing in first with pencil, because it will show up on the black. So we could do that, and so we could put a star, and we could put a line for the mountains in the distance, for example, and we could put then just a very simple, you know, you see this all over Pinterest, a stable like this, and then inside the manger, like that, with or without Mary and Joseph. Okay, let's see how that goes. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's go for a light colour for the star. Maybe a sort of bronzy colour for the hills in the background. I don't know. Well, it covers quite reasonably well, doesn't it? And I don't know, let's see, dark bronzy colour. No, that's too dark, isn't it? No good at all. Let's go for something lighter for the roof. And we can blend them together, evidently. And then maybe, I don't know, slightly darker for the manger. No, I'm not keen on the dark colours so far. They aren't showing up very well. Okay, and we need Joseph in the background. And Mary here, perhaps. Just a hint. Okay, and perhaps we'll just pick up a little bit of spatter and put in the sky for the rest of the stars. And you know, if you wanted to, you could put camels or something walking down from the mountains over here if you gave yourself a bit more space. It's interesting, this paint, which is the whole purpose of this really, not to show off or anything, but just to see how it shows up on the paper, how it blends, how it works, and so on. And I'm wondering whether if I took the gold pen, how that would react with it. You could probably give some texture and details, perhaps when it's dry. I'll come back to that when it's dry. So, because I think, you know, we need a band around his head and stuff like that, don't we? Anyway, so that's that. And put that over there. Is this one dry? Not quite. A hairdryer. Well, let's just put some berries, shall we? Let's try painting a stem. You could start off with just dots, you know, like this. I think that's often a good way of breaking in. And then we can, this is very intense, this paint. It blends, it's very strong, covers the paper, covers the paint, doesn't interact badly with anything, goes a long way, flows nicely, nice and smooth. Can't think of anything bad to say about it. Hello, Arthur. All the colours seem to be pleasant and interchangeable. Some of the dark ones might be a bit too dark. Oh, look what I've done. I need to repair that. It's good that I didn't mix anything. What did we use? We used Forrest Gump, didn't we? So it's this one. Should match. I think when that's dry, that'll be okay. And then if we use the gold pen, if I can find it, we can join some of the berries on if you want. Little stalks, so they don't look like they're floating in midair. We could do some leaves using the pen, it's easier. And I think I'll leave it at that. And then you can just write, you know, season's greetings. Here we are. This one still needs a bit of work. It's not dry yet, but I'll come back to that. And yeah, so there we are. Not bad. Nice paint. I'm still not quite sure about the whole pearlescent thing. I discovered the other day, this morning actually, that you can buy wall paint. Pearlescent wall paint. Wow. I thought to myself, gosh. Okay, right, I will let you go, and I'll see you again soon. So have fun, like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here tomorrow probably. So thanks everybody. Bye now. Bye bye.